Hey guys, Young here with Air Reliance. It is the, I believe the 16th of May. It's getting to be where it's going to be almost too hot to start coming out here in the desert. Trips are going to start having to go up north, but I haven't had too many shakedown runs on the old Polaris here. And today I just wanted to burn some fuel, get some time behind the wheel. I've been out here before, but I've always kind of stayed on the main routes. I want to explore some of these other off-highway trails out here a little bit and get some aerial footage, and then tackle not the question, but my process of how I determined to do the Razor over the comparable 64-inch Can-Am machine. I'll get into that a little later, but for today, and I'm sorry about the wind, I'm trying to keep the mic out of it the best I can, but for today, it's gonna mainly be trying to figure out ways I can capture content, enjoying my Razor, but having no assistance with filming. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I'm out here. Let me kind of give you a panorama view, I guess, or panometric of what I'm looking at here. So I'm out here trying to capture content and talk a little bit of why I chose the Polaris Razor XP4 1000 Turbo. Geez, these side-by-sides, they give them long model names. The Can-Am's even worse, I think, but why the Polaris over the X3? When I started this thought process back in January, my number one driving factor was I wanted to spend as little money as possible, and in quick research, you had to get over the sticker. You had to get over the price. If you wanted a side-by-side, even used ones, you're gonna have to get over the price. There's just no getting around it. But that was my main driving concern, so I basically narrowed it down to either the Can-Am, I think it's the Can-Am Max DS Turbo R, which is the Maverick X3, one of the variants, or try and get you guys out of the wind, and I don't think Can-Am makes a non-turbo model in the Max. I'm not sure, I don't remember. And then I was looking at the XP4 1000 without the turbo. So I got a checklist to do stuff on paper, and the Can-Am was cheaper. It actually had more features. It had several different steering settings you can do. I believe it has a selectable rear and front locker. I think it's selectable on the Can-Am, or on the Polaris here, but I think the difference is once you go into four-wheel drive, both diffs lock, which isn't a bad thing, but on the Can-Am you can choose to lock the rear and have the front open, or lock both of them, or keep it in just regular two-wheel drive. So a couple more, I believe, and I'm going off of memory. I haven't restudied this stuff because I've already bought the Can-Am, but everything was on paper was pointing at the Can-Am. I should get the Can-Am. It was cheaper, had more features than the Razor. And then I watched a couple of YouTube videos from I think the one that had the biggest impact on my decision was one from Shock Therapy, where they were basically going over should you buy an X3 or a Razor, and it came down to, out of the box, the Razor needed, in their opinion, less parts to make it more reliable in this terrain. Like they mentioned, these little tie rods, the sway bar is about the only thing you would really need to do out of the box to make sure this thing doesn't break on you. But the X3, there was a laundry list of stuff that they had to do to the suspension to make it as reliable as the Polaris. So they basically broke it down. The Polaris is more reliable out of the box, but if you're a guy who likes to work on his machines and tinker around on them, then you know, buy the Can-Am, because you'll have plenty of projects to do on it. Not saying that Can-Am's a bad machine. These guys race all these machines, you know, and all these races through the fall and winter, so they know all these machines. And I found that to be pretty helpful, so that put a big check mark on the Razor side. It's more reliable out of the box, less tinkering with it. Then I went down to the local Ride Now, and I sat in a Can-Am, and I sat in a Polaris. And for me, the thing that made me swing me over to Polaris was when I look out the drivers, I feel like I can see over the hood. I have more line of sight over this one. The Can-Am being a little bit lower. It has the same travel and the suspension and the same ground clearance, but the seats in the machine sit lower, and the hood seems to be a little bit longer on it. So the sight lines out the front weren't clean, and that was one big issue I had with the Tundra out here on these little trails like this, is not really being able to see over the passenger side to know where I'm at exactly. And I know a lot of that just experience and getting used to your ride. I understand that, but for me, I've already had that uncomfortable feeling, and I did not get that in the Razor. I got it in the Can-Am. There's one more thing about the Can-Am over the Razor, is that I think it's 180 to 190 horsepower, where this with the turbo is 168. So there's a lot of pros to the Can-Am, but when it came down to it, it was how comfortable did I feel behind the wheel. That's what determined my decision on buying the Razor over the X3, not because the X3 was a bad machine. It just, I didn't feel comfortable in it. So personal preference. So guys, if you bought a Can-Am and you're offended that somebody couldn't possibly choose the Can-Am over this, I'm not going to apologize. It's all personal preference. You bought what you were willing to pay money on. I bought what I was willing to pay money on. At the end of the day, I'm just out here to enjoy myself. I'm not out here to measure myself against what everybody else has. If I did that, I would be $3 million in debt. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. In my next video, I'll talk about my buying experience and why I bought where I bought as opposed to buying from Ride Now. Wasn't very happy with Ride Now and their out the door price. So I'll tell that story on the next one. But for now, I just gave you the reason why I chose the Razor over the X3. Enjoy. I don't know if I'll have a montage in front of this or behind this, but I hope you enjoy some of the content I captured today. Dummy here ran out of the house without grabbing all his batteries for his action camera, so I'm limited on battery space or battery time here. So I want to capture some more content. But if you stayed through the whole video, again, please subscribe, leave comments, negative, positive, I don't care. Thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter to me. Traffic across my channel just helps me to get more exposure. And